It's another day in a beekeeper's life. We got a call earlier today at a construction site outside of Mineola, and the construction people were moving some things around, and lo and behold, under one of these well settling tanks, there's a whole hive of bees underneath there, which really kind of upset the construction site. So what we're going to do today, we're going to improvise. And so what we have today is a poncho and some bungee cords, and all we're going to do is wait for the bees to come all in, and then we're going to throw that poncho around it and bungee it down, load it up in the truck, take it back to the house, and then tomorrow I'll work it into a box and see if we can't capture a wild hive. In doing so, we'll need to requeen, but just to make sure that the bees, it's not Africanized, it's not an aggressive hive or anything like that, but just trying to make sure we have a new home for them. So we'll wait for a little while, and then we'll go to work. What we've done now is we're backed up to it here. We're going to demonstrate how we're going to wrangle these bees with a poncho and some bungee cords. Got my trusty assistant here, and she's looking forward to this. A little bit of smoke, just kind of keep them in there. Seesaw it under it. Ready? Okay. Ready? Get your bungee. It's going to do the same thing. Going to go underneath. I'm going to try to pick it up. There you go. Okay. There you go. The first bungee. Good. This is going to go up towards the lip, and then we got a second bungee underneath. It's going to go all the way to the back. Pull all the way around. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling.
I got to go get that other bungee.
All right, can you hook on something over there? I'm good. Hooking the other bungee up. So that's captured. Now we're going to move the truck up and load it up, and we'll let you see how we're going from there. Okay. Okay, as you can see, we got it in the truck, and so now all we're doing is just tying it down and getting ready to relocate it back to our place where we rehab our bees, and then we'll watch the story continue. Okay, as if you saw in the video earlier, this is the water tank that we got the other night. And so what we're doing now is pulling the hive that is in underneath it. And so if you can look down in there, it's really not terribly deep. It's just the base of the tank. And so now what I'm doing, as you can begin to see, I'm pulling out and separating the frames of wax, or the lobes of wax that they have in here. I'm also looking for the queen. However, based on the frames or the lobes that I've been looking at so far, it looks like they were queenless, and I'd already found 2 queen cells that they were trying to rear a new queen. But in the process, what I wanted to do is show you, in doing feral hives, you always need to dress up completely, because you just don't ever know what you're going to walk into. You don't know how nice or how mean they're going to be. So just always plan for the worst, but hope for the best. So in here, what we're doing, you'll notice I've got 2 different piles of wax. So this first one, as you can see, has pollen and honey in it. That's a food frame, we call it. So I've separated that one out. We're also looking for brood. So this one is a pollen and capped brood in there. Haven't found any larval stage of of bees yet. So like I say, I think this one was probably queenless, and they're in the process of raising a new queen. Now in this pile over here, this is all food and a little bit of pollen. And the one thing you always want to try to get out of your hive, that is, notice the cell, how much larger it is. That's called drone comb. We don't want that in there, nor do we want the drones in there. So I've separated that out. I'm going to leave that out. And as I mine out the hive out of that box, I'll put it into there, cover it, and then they can come in here and take everything in these frames and relocate it back into their box, which is going to be now their new home. In the process, what we're doing now is we're taking some of the brood. This is capped brood with a little bit of food in there, and we're putting it in here. So we cut it, and I'll try to show you over there how we're doing it, but we cut it and we string it in the frame so that you take into account the maternal instincts of the bees. So you will attract nurse bees and those kind of bees in there to take care of the brood, keep them fed, keep them going on, taking care of them. And so it keeps them in the general location. So in this process, we're getting rid of the lobes of wax that we can use. We're culling the lobes of wax that we're not using, letting them glean out what they needed to take and put back in their hive and to move forward. One of the things you're going to have to learn in beekeeping, you're going to kill bees. Now I know that's never the intention of any one person, but you have to look at the colony. Success of the colony is not about the individual bee. It is about the colony as a whole. So we don't intentionally try to kill anything, but in animal husbandry, in this, you select out characteristics that you're looking for, and you or looking to get out, and you select for characteristics that you're looking to continue on. So just wanted to look at that because it seems like there's going to be a lot of waste, but the bees are very resourceful. They'll reuse this stuff, and out of this, we're trying to get a hive that is now managed. What we're doing is trying to show you how you can fit these into your frames. Now you see I use rubber bands. The larger ones I like because you can do a lot more with them. And then you'll just try to feed it in here. And what you're going to do, you're going to take you a knife. My wife volunteered this knife, so it's in my bee bag. And what we do, we've cut this one already. I'll try to show you another picture here of what it looks like. And we're just trying to fit as much in here on a frame as you can get, trying to improve the survivability of this colony. And so I need to do a little bit more cutting on this, but you can see what it looks like when you cut it. That's what the cross section of one looks like. This is the pollen and honey. And like I say, the bees will find this and relocate it and use it in their hive. And if they don't, I have other bees in the yard here that will. And so this will not go to waste. Well, as you can see, we've gotten the parts reassembled in here, and I'm going to let you take a look inside the hive. You see the bees? They're going into the front of the entrance of their new box here. You're seeing the bees are also here, taking out the honey and reusing what they can use. There'll be a little bit of drifting going on, so you might see some extra bees if you have some other hives in and around there, because this hive, after further investigation, was queenless. We saw that there was several queen cells that they were making. I found no egg and no larva that was in there. Everything was capped. So we'll have a brood break. In other words, there'll be a time where there'll be no babies being born, which will be easy for us to control with a strip to help control the mites. And we'll treat them to use a probiotic to get their system healthy again. And then in turn, you'll see the container that we found them in. I flipped it over so that when the bees fly up out of this, they'll go back to where their hive was. And then after a day or so, after they've taken all of the honey out of this, then we can remove this container and throw it away. I'm gonna let them kind of glean out the rest of the honey. This is just bees from all the other hives here are gonna come and get this because this is just an open feed. They're gonna come and take what they can take, and now it's kind of a race for everybody to get all that they can get. But what I did, I took their extra lobes and put it right there by the hive. That's the quickest way between 2 points, and so they should be able to get as much as anything. If you have any other questions about this is not the only way, but this is one of many ways. We hope you've enjoyed it, and you can always leave a message with us or ask a question, and we'll try to answer it back to you.